The WWJ Playhouse. Every Thursday evening at this time, the WWJ Playhouse brings you an original drama written especially for this program. Tonight's play is the story of two actors and an actress entitled Love Me Forever.
Nothing shall ever part us, my darling.
Only something greater than our love could part us. And nothing is greater than our love.
Yes, Tony.
At the Nell Gwynn Theater on 49th Street, just west of Broadway, Love Me Forever is enjoying a successful run with Constance Meade, supported by Alexander Reese in the leading role. At this moment, the final scene is in progress.
Very dear person, Tony.
Darling, there's something about you that I like very much.
Kiss me.
Oh, Ruth, my dear.
Tony.
Yes?
Tony, love me forever. You had no business topping my line.
You know I didn't mean to.
I don't believe you.
Come on, smile.
Thank you. Thank you.
I want a curtain speech from you.
They can wait until a certain play squeeze is over before they'll get it.
You'll give it?
I will not.
You're the star of the show.
That makes no difference.
Go on unless you want to be kicked.
Really, I don't quite know what to say. It's been a real thrill acting in a play like Love Me Forever. And the audiences, too, have been perfectly wonderful. Really, they have. But the success of this play belongs not merely to me, nor to the author, nor to the others in the cast, splendid as they are and have been. Perhaps I'm not saying this very well, but I do so much wish to pay some special tribute to the very fine performance of my leading man, Mr. Alexander Reese. I do so hope you're happy.
I haven't been so happy since the time you pinched me during the last scene.
Is that so? Well, let me tell you something, Alec Reese. Anytime I pinch you, you deserve it.
Oh, I do I? Well, if I were half a man, I'd take you over my knee and paddle you for all I'm worth.
If you so much as
I wish
dared...
I were your father.
At least I'm fortunate in that respect. My father was a drunkard, but at least he was a gentleman. You might ask your barber to shave you a little closer, too.
Do we have to fight about my barber?
It's bad enough to have to kiss you every night, even for money, without having my skin all cut up by those pig bristles on your chin.
You're being petty.
That's because I'm dealing with a petty person.
Sorry to disturb you two lovers, but we've got to strike this set.
Never mind the sarcasm, Tim.
Yeah, just go find some quiet spot and utter a prayer of thanks you're a stagehand.
You go find a quiet little spot where you're out of the way of them flats. Hold it, boys.
Well, at least you have any differences to settle with your crew. A good clean blow in the jaw will take care of it.
That kind of brutality probably appeals to you.
At the moment it does, and it doesn't strike me as brutality.
I'm sorry, Miss Meade, but we got to strike this set.
Oh, very well. I don't know why I'm standing here carrying on like a common fishwife anyway.
I always like a woman with spirit.
Ordinarily, I'd agree with you, Tim. But right now, I don't know.
Now, you listen to me, child.
I know just what you're going to say, Vicky, and it's not true.
It's true that you and Alec fight all the time, isn't it? It's true that you're fighting even more than before, isn't it? It's as true as the fact that we're sitting here in your dressing room.
Yes, of course it is.
And you honestly think that Alec is responsible for everything that's happened?
Now, Vicky, please. You know that Alec is always trying to steal my scenes.
I'm not so sure of that.
Oh, but my dear, anyone who's been in the theater as long as you have...
That's exactly the point. You may think that he tries stealing your scenes, but I'm not so sure as you are that he is trying.
I always thought that young people were supposed to be innocent and trusting.
And that we decrepit old hags were cynical and mistrustful? Perhaps you're right, Connie. But besides our cynicism and mistrust, we sometimes, just sometimes, mind you, are possessed of just the least little bit of insight.
Insight?
Insight that comes as the result of experience.
Then you should be able to see that Alec tries to steal scene after scene from me. That he deliberately tries to make me look bad. That he's hammy
I haven't denied, child, that Alec is young and inexperienced.
And I suppose he does those things because he doesn't know any better. You sound like a foolish mother defending her own precious child.
Alec, my dear, is not a finished actor.
He is as far as I'm concerned.
He has much, very much to learn. He does make you look bad at times, but he doesn't mean to. He is hammy now and then, but he'll get over it because whatever ham there is in that boy doesn't come from the heart.
Vicky, darling, you know I love you. I owe you so much. But right now, I haven't the slightest idea of what you're talking about.
I'm merely trying to tell you that if Alec isn't hurt too much, he may someday be a great actor.
Really? That's the most absurd notion.
He'll be a great actor if you stick to him.
If I stick to him? Even if you are right, why must I be his nurse girl, his teacher, his...
Because Alec loves you. And you love him.
I love Alec?
I think you do.
Oh, good heavens.
I also think that you'll regret your blindness someday unless...
Vicky, Alec has never shown the least interest in me. He's never so much as held my hand.
I don't doubt that at all.
Well, then?
I should think you'd find such a man rather refreshing in a profession that is literally peopled with wolves.
Very well, then. Alec isn't a wolf. I fail to see how anybody who is such a lamb as you describe is any more desirable.
Well, now, consider Whitmore Wade.
Whit is at least an actor.
I've seen better.
So have I, but he doesn't walk around the stage as though it were someplace he'd only read about in a book. He's professional, Vicky. And why he wasn't cast as the male lead in this play instead of in the part he has, well, it's beyond me.
Whitmore Wade, Connie, is clever. The ham in him goes so deep he's concealed it even from you. And what's more, he's a wolf in wolf's clothing.
All of which is neither here nor there. Besides, it's getting later. I'd better get this grease paint off my face and get to my hotel.
Well, I've been on the stage a long time.
Now, don't tell me you played at Ford's Theater in Washington the night Lincoln was shot, my dear.
No, Connie, but I was up there the next week in East Lynn. But let me tell you just this.
You really shouldn't give all this advice away free.
Free or not, I'm giving it. The stage, my child, is a wonderful profession. If I had my life to live over again, well, I might play a few scenes a little differently,
But you'd do it all over again.
I would. But the stage can be a sordid thing, too. The lives, yes, and the spirits, too, of more people have been broken in it than in any other place. If you break with Alec...
As I shall.
Then both of you may very well be broken. But if you stick together...
We'll both go hungry.
I don't think so. You'll both grow together. You'll help Alec and at the same time help yourself. And in time, Alec will help you.
I wonder, is there a psychiatrist in the house?
Go ahead and laugh, my dear. You're young and you think the world is your backyard. But I still feel that you and Alec together have something to give the theater that neither of you can give separately. Perhaps if you stick together, you'll be, say, like Southern and Marlowe.
Or another Weber and Field.
I think I'd better stop talking, until tomorrow at least.
Oh, Vicky, you are a dear. Yes?
It's Lou, Connor. Work. Good afternoon.
Speak of the devil.
Just a minute, Whit. Vicky, darling, hand me my dressing robe, will you?
There you are, Connie. And that is Victoria Biglow's cue to exit. There are some things that even I'm not old enough to be used to.
Why, hello, Vicky.
Good heavens, if it isn't the ghost of Hamlet's father.
May I come in now, Connie?
Only for a minute, Whit.
I have something important to tell you, but it won't take long.
Good. Vicky and I have been sitting here talking, and I just must get some sleep. What is it you wish to see me about?
Well, Connie, I don't know whether you've been aware of it or not, but I've been writing a play.
Oh, my goodness. A play by an actor.
Well, that's not so impossible. After all, Shakespeare was an actor. Bad one, they say, but nevertheless an actor.
And you, being a good actor, have probably written a bad play.
Connie, I wish you'd go with me to see Oscar Lang tomorrow afternoon. There's no matinee.
You mean you've got that far? Oscar Lang is considering producing your play?
Yes, and with you in the leading role, it should be a cinch.
Well, now.
Besides, I've noticed that, well...
What have you noticed?
Oh, just that you seem to be sort of fed up with Love Me Forever.
I see.
Besides, Connie, you know I've always liked you.
Please, Whit.
Well, I didn't mean anything wrong.
Suppose we keep this strictly business.
All right, that's the way you want it.
That's the way I want it. By the way, I'd like to read your play before we see Oscar.
Oh, I'm sorry, but he has the only copy. Oh, but you'll get a chance to read it.
Very well. What time tomorrow?
Oh, about 2:30. Suppose I pick you up to your hotel.
I'll meet you at Oscar Lang's, Whit. And now, if you don't mind.
Yes, come in, come in. Well, it's good to see you, Connie.
Hello, Oscar. Good seeing you, too.
Hey, pull up a chair for the lady, Whit.
Oh, it's a pleasure.
Connie, you're looking more radiant than ever.
Thank you, and you're looking younger than ever.
Well, now, I'd say you fished for that one, Oscar.
Maybe I did, my boy. But I meant what I said about Connie.
Well, now that we've exchanged all these little pleasantries.
Connie's interested in Goodbye, Roberta.
Oh, I see. Have you read Whit's play, Connie?
Not yet. I understand you have the only copy.
I see. Well,
You don't seem very enthusiastic, Oscar.
Oh, Connie, you know how producers are. Well, look how Ann Nichols peddled Lady's Irish Rose up and down Broadway and didn't even get a nibble.
we've got to be skeptical, Whit. After all, we're the fellows who put the money in these things.
Whose money?
And all right, it isn't always our own money then. But we've got to sell it to the angel, don't we? And after that, we have to sell it to the public.
Don't you think that, what's the name?
Goodbye, Roberta.
Yes. Don't you think that Goodbye, Roberta is a good play?
Well,
Oh,
Connie...
come on, Oscar. You yourself told me to be surefire with Connie as Roberta.
Yes, I know I did. But a play is a gamble.
Oh, not with Constance Meade in the title role.
Well, that's very nice of you, Whit, but I have been in one or two rather notable flops.
Oh, not since Broadway really got to know you. You know that's true, Oscar.
Yeah, I can't deny you have something there.
Now, see here, boys. If the whole purpose of this little chat is to build me up,
But it isn't. Why, the other day when I was in here, Oscar poured out his heart to me. He kept on saying over and over again that if he could only get you under a long-term contract, he'd be in clover for the rest of his life. Now, come on, Oscar. Own up to it.
Well, sure I did.
Well?
Yeah, I'll tell you, my boy. It's just a little matter of hard cash. After all, you can't sign Connie Meade with hay. Can you, Connie?
Well, I am accustomed to something a little more substantial.
Well, there you are.
Oh, but you can borrow money. Why, you can get any number of backers just on the strength of Connie's being in the play.
Connie, I have a business proposition to offer you.
On a percentage basis?
That's right. No stipulated salary, but 20% of the gross for you. Now, what do you say?
Well, this is rather sudden.
Oh, it's the best possible proposition, Connie. Sure to be a hit with you in it, and you'll make more money than you ever have in your life. Tell her I'm right, Oscar.
Yeah, I think he is. He's in himself on a percentage basis, both as writer and leading man.
Come on, Connie. What do you say?
Is there a part in it for Vicky Biglow?
Well,
Is that an absolute condition?
It is.
Then he'll write a part in it for her.
No, I suppose if that's the way you feel
Of
about
course,
it.
the fact still remains that I haven't read the play.
Oh, you'll love it, Connie.
Well, the medicine man has taken to writing his own testimonial.
I'll tell you what. You take the play and read it, and I'll have a contract drawn up.
I'll read that, too, Oscar.
Sure. And then in a couple of days, we'll get together again. That is, if you like to play. Is that fair enough?
Now, how about it, Connie?
Very well. That is fair enough.
Just one more thing before you go in his dressing room, child.
Oh, very well.
You sure you know your own mind?
Of course I do. I'm not an infant.
That remains to be seen.
Please, Vicky, you're only making it harder.
I just hope you never regret what you're doing.
Yes?
It's Connie, Alec. May I see you?
Why, Connie, come in.
I just wanted to talk to you for a minute.
Well, that's fine. Here, sit down.
Thank you.
It's a long time, Connie, since you and I really sat down and had a talk.
Yes, it is.
How have you been?
Oh, quite all right. And you?
Just about as usual, I guess.
Alec,
Yes, Connie?
I've come to tell you something. I'm leaving the show.
You're leaving the show. Gee, I don't know what to say.
Oh, after all, Rita Elliott understudied my part throughout the run of the play.
Well, it
and
won't be the same with Rita, Connie.
It's very nice of you to say that, Alec, but I'm certain Rita will do very well.
I suppose you finally decided to accept one of those Hollywood offers.
No, it's a play.
Well, at least that's something. You'll still be here in New York. Whose play is it, Connie?
It's called Goodbye, Roberta. And And Whit wrote it.
Whit?
It's really quite good. Oscar Lang's producing it, and there's a wonderful part in it for me.
Well, naturally, but you...
Oh, of course, the play's 50% hokum, but then...
Then you really came to say goodbye.
Not exactly goodbye, Alec.
Well, when's your play going to rehearsal?
Next week. Saturday night will be my last performance.
Well, it's difficult to know just what to say.
Perhaps then it's better not to say anything.
Yes. But there's one thing I want you to remember. Always. And that is that I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you, Alec. That was very sweet.
You know, Oscar, this strikes me as pretty dreary business.
Have a little patience, Leonard. Please, listen for a few minutes. You dramatic critics.
Just for a few minutes.
All right, let's try it once again, please.
So, my mother did know what she was talking about when she said our marriage would be the greatest mistake I could make.
Oh, Jeffrey, have you so little faith in me? Surely a woman has a right to believe that her own husband...
Just a minute, Miss Meade, please.
I'm afraid, Mr. Clay, that I don't really feel these lines. Somehow or other, they just don't...
We'll have to rewrite them.
Now, see here, Clay. I'm not going to chop this play to pieces every time you have a feeling that something's not exactly right.
I don't know what else we can do, Mr. Wade. After all, Miss Meade's having trouble with the lines, too. And it isn't as though we haven't worked on them.
And we'll have to work some more.
All right. Let's have a smoke first. I don't see why.
Well, what do you think?
You want my honest opinion, Oscar?
I want your honest opinion as Leonard Swan, the man. Not as a highbrow dramatic critic writing for about 200 long-haired intellectuals with horn-rimmed glasses and boys' bobs.
Well, I hate to think what George G. Nathan will do to this little opus.
Oh, forget George G. Nathan.
Oh, no, you can't do that.
Look how you boys pan Hell's a poppin'.
I'm afraid this is something a little different. In the first place, Hell's a Poppin' wasn't burdened with Whitmore Wade.
Hey, what's the matter with Whit? He's good-looking, isn't he?
So is the Venus de Milo, but she can't act.
All right, then. He can't act. But I still say that anything with Connie Meade in it is bound to be a hit.
Listen to me, Oscar, my boy. Constance Meade is as good a little actress as you'll find anywhere nowadays.
Your generosity knocks me cold.
But there are certain limits to what any actress can do. Now, if this play ever actually opens in New York, well, the odor will be so great up and down Broadway that Mayor LaGuardia will be forced to turn the whole matter over to the Department of Sanitation.
I suppose this is just a rough idea of what your review is going to sound like.
It'll more likely be an obituary. You've been around long enough, Oscar, to know that even a good actress can't put over a play that isn't even mediocre. Do you think that Sarah Bernhardt could read the racing form and make it sound like Moliere?
I wouldn't know. They're before my time.
When do you open?
2 weeks from Monday. After a tryout in New Haven next Monday.
Well, Roger Clay is a good director. Maybe he can do enough rewriting. That is, maybe he can kid Wade into thinking he's doing the rewriting so it'll pass.
You know, Leonard, your optimism buoys me up. Now, as I was saying before, look at the way you fellas received Hell's a Poppin'.
There's something you haven't counted on, Oscar. Hell's a Poppin' had one thing from the start, the enthusiasm of the people mixed up in it. But if what I've just been witnessing is enthusiasm, then my great-grandmother was Scarlett O'Hara.
How do you know she wasn't?
She had great hair, my great-grandmother.
If I had any hair, it'd be Snow White. And all because of a bunch of house wreckers that call themselves critics.
Well, that's the way things are, Oscar. It takes something very much like a miracle to turn this sow's ear into a silk purse.
All right.
But you know, I wish you luck.
Yeah, you wish me luck after you put the hex on me.
Oh, no, Oscar, not me. I didn't write Goodbye, Roberta. Well, I suppose I better run along.
I suppose you got a day with a couple of stray alley cats that you're just waiting for you to tie tin cans on their tails.
Nothing that tame, my boy. I know where there's some babies, very little babies that I can torture. Besides, I have to write a hymn of hate or two.
Well, give the rest of the hangman my love.
I'll do that. I'll be up for the opening in New Haven.
So, my mother did know what she was talking about when she said our marriage would be the greatest mistake I could make.
Oh, Jeff.
The whole thing's a mistake.
Whit,
Go on, read your line.
Oh, Jeffrey, have you so little faith in me? Surely a woman has a right to believe that her own husband...
Rupert, I've had enough.
Wait,
This is an outrage.
please! It's really too bad that young men old enough to attend a great university aren't well bred enough to allow performance to continue without catcalls.
Well, we paid good money to get in here.
Then you can have your money back.
Connie, you're making a fool of yourself.
I don't care. Perhaps we haven't ironed out all the little things one finds in every new play. But surely, as artists, we are entitled to your respect. We've come here before our New York opening.
Why should we be guinea pigs?
Don't answer him.
Really, you boys don't deserve decent treatment. Ring down the curtain.
Well, I hope you're happy. You've ruined everything.
I've ruined everything. I suppose I wrote the play and talked you into acting in it.
You can be released from your contract anytime you want.
If no one but you were involved in this thing, I could. But Oscar's been decent from the beginning, and I'm not going to let him down.
Oh, I see. I don't count.
Not one bit. But there are others depending on me. I'm a trooper, and if Oscar doesn't throw in the sponge, Goodbye, Roberta is opening on schedule in New York.
Well, too bad, Oscar.
Yeah, it's a flop. Even a miracle can't save it now.
George Jean Nathan didn't even wait till the end of the first act.
No?
He walked out after the first 5 minutes.
Well, I won't blame him.
Here come Connie and Whit.
I hate to face her.
How about him?
I could wring his neck without the least pang of conscience.
Well, I guess those boys up in New Haven were right.
Yeah, they're smarter than we thought.
What do you mean by that?
If you don't know now, Whit, you'll never know. You can't laugh off a New York audience.
Oh, is that so? What do they know about art?
Did you say art?
That's what I thought he said.
Oh, what's the use of talking to you Philistines anyway? After all, if you'd hired a decent director, and if the leading lady had tried just a little bit...
That's the last straw. Why, if I weren't above doing such a thing, I'd slap that dirty, smirking face of yours.
Hey, why don't you do it anyway?
All right, close the play. What difference does it make now?
I'll have the auditor send the figures over to your hotel the first thing in the morning. You can see the difference for yourself.
Connie, I want to see you right away.
What is it, Vicky?
Come along with me.
I'll see you tomorrow, Oscar.
There's no hurry, Connie. We don't bury the dead the next day.
What is it you want me for, Vicky?
There's someone to see you, child.
Oh, good heaven. You don't think, do you, that I feel like seeing anyone now?
That doesn't matter. This is one person you're going to see.
But I tell you, I won't.
Connie, don't you dare talk that way to your Aunt Victoria.
Oh, I'm sorry, Vicky, but this... Oh, it's been just too much.
I know, my dear. But now, in you go.
Anything to... Alec.
Hello, Connie. It's awfully good seeing you.
Here's where the fifth wheel exits.
Did you see the show?
Well, matter of fact, I didn't. Prices were a little steep for the present condition of my pocketbook.
Oh, I see.
Besides, I wanted to get you some flowers. Vicky found a milk bottle to put them in.
Oh, Alec, that was sweet. Why did you come here?
Why? Well, I just...
You wanted to scoff at me, too, did you?
Oh, Connie, don't talk...
Only you didn't want to be lost in the crowd out in front. You wanted to come backstage with flowers. Just as though this had been the greatest success in the history of Broadway.
Oh, I'm sorry, Connie.
It's a wonder you didn't bring champagne.
Connie, please. The things you said were farthest from my mind. I just came here to say hello, to wish you luck if the play had been a success, to console you if it were a flop. I want to do anything you do. Anything the occasion demands. I wouldn't scoff at you no matter what happened.
Oh, I just want to cry on your shoulder.
My shoulder's honored. So am I.
Oh, it was such a mistake. Such a mistake.
We all make mistakes.
It's my pride that hurts, Alec. I can't help it.
Oh, that's all right now.
How I ever managed to get myself in such a mess and cheapen myself before all those people.
No, Connie. You haven't cheapened yourself. You couldn't.
Alec, perhaps we can find a play to do together. Perhaps we can revive Love Me Forever or take it on the road.
That'd be fine as far as I'm concerned.
Then you would?
Darling, I found something out. I can't act.
Oh, but Alec, you can.
I was going to say I can't act without you. I've been around to the manager's offices, I know.
I guess I can't act without you.
No, Connie, that's not true. You may have shown poor judgment, but you're still Broadway's top actress. You just had a bad break, that's all.
May I use your handkerchief?
It's all yours. And, Connie, I love you.
Oh, Alec, That makes everything all right again. Nothing shall ever part us, my darling.
Boy, ain't that something?
Oh, Tim, it's wonderful.
I wonder if that audience knows what they're looking at.
Tim, I'm positive they think it's nothing but acting.
Oh, they should only know. The way them two used to fight, and now they're married.
That was because they were in love.
Yeah, I know. I was in love once.
I Tim, you old Casanova. And here I'd always thought you were one man who was immune.
She ran away with a sailor.
Well, now, if I were just a few years younger...
Now, watch out, Vicky, old girl. Let me get over there so I can work this curtain. It's almost time for this show to end.
Kiss me.
Oh, Ruth, my dear.
Alec. Oh, Tony.
Yes?
Alec, love me forever.
The WWJ Playhouse has presented Love Me Forever, an original drama written by Myron Golden and directed by Ernest Ricca. If you wish to see one of these dramas in WWJ's auditorium studio, write, phone, or call at the studios of WWJ for tickets. There is no charge. Next week, the WWJ Playhouse will bring you a drama entitled Miss America of 1926. So won't you join us here in the studio or at your radio at 9:30 next Thursday night. The characters and situations in these dramas are purely fictional and bear no intentional relation to real people or events. The original musical score for the WWJ Playhouse was composed and conducted by Ole Fersch. This is WWJ, the Detroit News.